Hey, this is Joshua. Just want to shoot another quick video for you to teach you exactly how, or let you know exactly how we actually buy our properties. We use what's called the MAO formula. I did not invent it. It came from one of my mentors. His name is Ron LeGrand. You can look him up. He's actually if you want to learn just straight how to buy and sell houses, and he does other investments too, but he is dollar for dollar one of the best investments you can get as far as learning. He teaches more in his courses. As a matter of fact, I had a person I knew that they paid like $35,000, $40,000 to go learn from a different mentor, and that person for that amount of money gave them like 1/4 or 1/5 of what the information was that Ron teaches for less money. For about Ron's courses to go to that same quantity would be somewhere between $3,000 and $5,000, and this person was teaching a tiny piece of it. And so he is one of the best investments as far as learning how to do it. But I'm going to show you his formula. It's called the MAO formula. It's called maximum allowable offer. It's how we buy our properties, and it's what keeps us out of trouble when we buy. So what we do is we start with the end in mind, and what that means is we start with what the finished product would be. So we estimate where the property will be when it's finished, meaning all fixed up, back on the market, what is that value? So let's say, let's just make up a house. Let's say it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in our sweet spot, which is in a nice neighborhood. No matter what the property looks like right now, I can tell you that just from knowing the market, that house is going to sell somewhere between $150,000 and $220,000, depending on the square footage, depending on the location. And so what I would do then is I would actually go to look at the comps on that location, look at all the houses that sold that would really be comparable to that house, and then we would get the best top 3. And let's say, just for round number's sake, we're going to say that it is going to sell at $200,000, so it's easy to do the math. So this house, when it's finished, is $200,000 in value. So what we do from that $200,000 is we would then immediately calculate the profit, and we demand a minimum of a 20% profit. And so you would calculate 20% of $200,000 would be $40,000. We subtract that from the $200,000 value. Then we subtract our holding cost, which is 10%. And so that would be another $20,000. So now we're down from $200 down to $140. From that moment, we then figure out what it would take to fix up the house. So if it's going to take $30,000 or $40,000 to fix it up, depending on how bad it is, then we would subtract that. Now, there's a really cool thing that I learned from Ron that when I first started was really hard to overcome, and it was the easiest way to overcome this was just to do this simple thing. What he did was, a lot of people will measure and try to figure out what is my actual cost going to be to fix up this house. And you can get all the math right on your estimation, but it's almost impossible to make that math work when you go to buy. So what he taught, which it took me a while to figure this out, and that's why I really appreciate his teachings, because he gives you really rule of thumb like behaviors that help you to get stuff accomplished. And this is what it is. If you do all your math, and your math says it's like $12,000 to fix it up, you would immediately make it a $15,000 fix up. And if you say, okay, I've made it a $15,000, but my stomach aches at a $15,000 fix up, you just make it 20. So now you're $8,000 over what your math would have said. So you have a leeway. So it makes it super easy to make an offer more quickly, because all you have to do is whatever your guesstimation would be to fix it up, it would be you never have to worry about whether you're right on. The problem also is that it's very hard. Even if you were right on, let's say you did everything right, you can't see all the problems in a property. So that's why it's also better to have the benefit of going a little bit above what your guesses are anyway. To go back to the formula then, so you have the profit figured in, and you have the holding cost figured in. So now we're down from 200 to 140. Let's just say that it's going to take $40,000 to fix up the property. So right now, our maximum allowable offer, which is the MAO formula, would be $100,000. So that means we could not pay more than $100,000 and expect to make a profit and successfully do that deal. So Ron's rule of thumb is not only do you not pay 100, but you never pay MAO. So you should always be trying to beat MAO by a percentage, and we try to beat it by 3 to 5%. And sometimes we even do better than that. So then when we're looking at that property, we want to be really purchasing that property somewhere around 90,000. Sometimes you'll even find the deal. What's really cool about watching the market is you start to see like the different spots where like this house is super cheap because it's super beat up, but it's going to be on a really nice finish, and it may take a little bit more money to do it, but it really makes it easy for you to see where the deal will be when it's finished when you use this MAO formula. With that, I'm going to let you go. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, it's the MAO formula, maximum allowable offer. You never pay MAO, so you always put the actual purchase price of the house lower than what your MAO number is. But you start with the sale price of the house, subtract 20% profit, subtract 10% holding, and then subtract whatever the fix-up is, remembering that your fix-up should always be a fraction of whatever you feel comfortable with over what your actual guesstimation would be. And if you worry about it at all, the thing that got me over the hump was they just told me, if you worry about it at all, if you think it's 10, make it 15. If 15 makes you scared, go to 20. And if 20 makes you scared, go to $25,000 fix-up. There's nothing wrong with being off. The issue will come where it becomes harder to find that deal because you might be in a market where you can't get the purchase at that. So you might have to squish that number back if you can't get the house purchased in that rough shape at those numbers. But you're better off waiting for the right deal to come along and getting your numbers where you feel comfortable than you are jumping on a deal and blowing it up and not being able to finish the project. So I hope you enjoyed the video and have a great day. Again, I'm Joshua Dudgeon. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, or you can actually call me on my cell phone at 608-306-1199 or shoot me a text as well. Hope you're having a good day. Bye.